Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK, back at you with another video here to predict the 8-game NBA main slate on Sunday. A couple of things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA, NFL, and XFL daily fantasy sports. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment left per video. So started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end on my Monday NBA video that I'll upload probably later tonight. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway that many times. If I have 10 videos uploaded for this week, you can end the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner will be announced in my video that I'll probably upload later tonight. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. First, really quickly talking about Friday night. I know I wasn't able to get a video out there for Saturday. Friday, I posted my core. It was really solid. Baines was, 50 to 60% owned. I don't know how, and he went for 70 fantasy points. Now, obviously, I didn't expect 70, but a min-price starting center, I was expecting like 25-ish, 30 minutes from Baines. I really thought he should have been 80, 90% owned. So he was in the core. Booker's in the core. He went for over 50. DeMar DeRozan went for over 40. We got really unlucky there. The game blew out. He was on pace for close to 60. So, and then Jeff Teague, I was obviously the ultimate chalk. He was solid. I think he had like 20 fantasy points at almost min-price. So hopefully that helped you guys win some good money. Let's see if we can keep it going here for this 8-game slate on Sunday. So let's take a look at some over-unders and spreads, Vegas numbers here. So there's 3 games that are not included on the main slate. That's the early slate. If you guys are playing this early slate, my recommendation would be get a lot of pieces to that Pelicans-Timberwolves game and then kind of get value elsewhere. But let's talk about the Vegas numbers here for the 8-game slate. We have the Bucks and the Suns at 228.5 over under. The Bucks are 7.5 point favorites for the Thunder, and Celtics 219 over under. The Celtics are 4-point favorites. Pacers Mavs 217.5. The Mavs are 6.5 point favorites for the Heat. Wizards 231.5. Miami's 5-point favorites. Magic Rockets 231 over under. The Rockets are 8-point favorites. Pistons Knicks 211 over under. The Knicks are 6-point favorites. Spurs, Cavs, 224 over under. The Spurs are 5-point favorites, and the Raptors and the Kings, 226.5 over under. The Kings, or the Raptors, I should say, are 6-point favorites. So, as always, we will start with center, and Kristaps Porzingis at the top at 9.3K. You got to take into consideration what he's been doing, even with Luka Doncic playing, right? In that blowout against Memphis, he played 29 minutes, 62.75 fantasy points. He has been absolutely crushing it. The matchups here are not necessarily great, but like I said, I think you got to consider him as a spend up. Now, Vucevic is a guy I like a good amount at under 9K going up against Houston. I don't really think Orlando's going to match a small ball and can sit Vucevic at the game, in the fourth quarter. So I think we probably get about 35 minutes from him at the center going up against like PJ Tucker, Robert Covington. So he should be able to have his way here. I do like him a decent amount there. So bonus at 8.7 is so consistent. He's going to get you 35 to 40 minutes. He's going to get you a double-double. The matchup's okay, but yeah, I think he's a really solid cash game play. Drummond coming back. So I think finally we can start ignoring some of these Cleveland guys now that they have more healthy bodies. I still think some of the guards are a little bit more viable because they're pretty thin in the guard rotation. But yeah, I'm not going to get to any of the bigs here for Cleveland. Bam Adebayo at 8K going up against one of the best possible matchups here against Washington. I like him a good amount. Christian Wood I really like at 7.9K. He's finally getting the big minutes. When Drummond initially went to Cleveland, for some reason the first 2 games they brought him off the bench. I don't know why. But now he's finally getting extended, right? 35, 35, 39, 38 minutes. So he's going to play 35 to 40 minutes. It's a really good spot here against the Knicks, and he's under 8K. I do really like Christian Wood here. I also like Julius Randle a good amount, 7.2. I think you can run him back. Like if you want to play Christian Wood and run it back with Julius Randle, I don't think that's the worst idea. The issue with him is the minutes. He's not playing like 38 minutes a game. Now he's playing like 32 or so. So that's a slight concern, but his price has dropped and I get good spot here against Detroit. I'm not going to get to Cleveland bigs. I don't think I get to any of these guys really, or these next tier guys. I do like Ibaka, but that's dependent on Marc Gasol news. Marc Gasol, there's a chance he could come back. If Marc Gasol plays, I don't think I get to Ibaka. If Marc Gasol misses, I would like Ibaka a lot here at 6K. So that's strictly dependent on Marc Gasol news. Let's see again. I'm not going to get to the Cleveland bigs. Aaron Baines, I still like at 5.4. Now I know we're not going to get 70 fantasy points a game. That was a huge anomaly. 37, 16, 1 assist, 2 blocks, and a steal. We're not going to get that again. But he played 36 minutes. So it looks like they're comfortable giving him the DeAndre Ayton minutes. And if he's going to play about 35 or so minutes, he's still underpriced at 5.4K. Now, don't expect 70 fantasy points, but I think we can expect about 30 or so. So yeah, I still like Baines here at 5.4. I don't necessarily think it's chasing just because of the minutes, right? Now, sure, they can come back and play him 25 minutes in this game. I guess I wouldn't be overly surprised, but it's good to see that those minutes. So I still like Baines a decent amount there. Mitchell Robinson at 5.3. He's going to get somewhere between around 25 or so minutes. He's a pretty productive guy. I think you can look to him for GPPs. I still like Trey Lyles too. So I got burned Friday. I had both Lyles and DeRozan. They were crushing it in 3 quarters. Lyles had 30 in 3 quarters. DeMar DeRozan had over 40, and they did not see any fourth quarter run. Killed me. Really killed me because I just finished outside the cash in my GPPs. And, if I get that fourth quarter run from Lyles and DeRozan, it would have been a great night. So it turned out, I missed the cash, but, if both those guys played in the fourth quarter, it could have been a huge night. So that's the way DFS goes sometimes. Cleveland, we know they run big. The Spurs are still without Aldridge, still no Jakob Poeltl, so Lyles is going to have to play big minutes. I think we probably get over 30 from him. I really like Trey Lyles here at that price. I like Brook Lopez too, 4.6K. So we have Giannis doubtful. Don't expect him to go. Normally Brook Lopez is the guy I ignore, but he's going to have to do more offensively. Now, obviously the 2 guys I feel the most confident in are Bledsoe and Middleton, but I still like Brook Lopez a good amount. I think we get about 25, 30 minutes from him. Again, he's going to have to do more offensively. I think he's a pretty solid, cheap option. Let's see. Again, Marc Gasol, this is, if he misses, I would like Ibaka a lot. If he plays and starts, I would have some interest, but it's a hamstring injury, so I would assume they limit him. We'll see, right? If they're going to start him and he's not going to be limited, then I would have interest in Marc Gasol, obviously, at this price. Other options here. Don't think we get to anyone else. So let's move on to power forward. Again, Giannis, this is the big news, right? He's doubtful. Don't expect him to go. So Bledsoe, Middleton, play them. Don't get cute. Play those 2, move on. And then there's some more value guys we'll talk about here in Milwaukee that are a lot more viable. Tatum at 9.5 with Gordon Hayward coming back. Not really the best spot. I'll pass there. Siakam, I don't think I get to him. Aaron Gordon does intrigue me at 8.2. He's been playing big minutes, probably 35 to 40 from him. It's a good matchup. So I do have interest in Aaron Gordon. Now, who am I going to prefer between Aaron Gordon and Vucevic? Now that they're priced really close, right? Aaron Gordon's 8.2, Vucevic 8.9. I think I got to give the edge to Vucevic if I'm going to play one of these Magic guys. Now, you can play both if you want to, but I would prefer Vucevic. Again, the Cleveland Bigs, I'm off with them now finally getting healthy. I don't think I get to Sarge. I know he had a big game, 38 minutes, 42 fantasy points. I think I prefer Baines and I prefer Booker at the top. We'll talk about them, or we'll talk about Booker more in a bit. CD, 4.8. I have some interest in because he's more of a wing, a small forward. So yeah, that big rotation's a little bit more crowded now with Thompson, Drummond, Love, and Nance. But CD's the guy that's going to play like the 3 a lot. So I think he is still viable. I still think he gets about 35 or so minutes. Let's see. Other options here. I don't really think there's anything else we have to consider. So let's move on to small forward. Beal at the top at 10.3, more contrarian option. It's a tougher spot. Sure, he can still get you there at that price, but not going to be able that I go. I really like the mid-range today. That's the way I'm going to build my lineups. So guys like DeRozan, guys like those Milwaukee guys, some other guys we talked about. So, Gordon Hayward most likely coming back out, so I'm not as high in like the Boston guys. OKC guys are always just priced right. I never really get excited about any of them unless someone is injured. And Middleton, love him. I'm going to play him and Bledsoe. Not going to get cute about it. Play them both and move on. Great matchup, no Giannis. They're way too cheap. Hold on. We forgot to talk about Ersan Ilyasova, obviously. So he's min price. The last games that Giannis have missed, they've started him at the power forward. If that's the case, if he starts again, he is one of the best value plays of the day. Now, they can still use like Marvin Williams, right, can get minutes. They have other bodies they can use. But if Ersan starts and he's min price, or obviously if he just starts, right, if he starts, I would like him a lot as a value play. But yeah, back to small forward. Let's see. Terrence Ross is always viable for GPPs. He's been playing great, playing huge minutes too. So I mean, you got to have some interest in him. His price really isn't moving. No Fournier, so we'll talk about some cheap Orlando guards here in a bit that I think are viable on the slate. The Sacramento guys, like Bogdan had a big game last game, but I don't know if I'm going to chase that. Still no Kevin Porter Jr. And again, Cleveland still is pretty thin for the guard position. We'll talk about Sexton. We'll talk about Dellavedova here in a bit. Honestly, not a whole lot. Like also Pat Connaughton, right? He is a guy that could definitely get some more minutes here with no Giannis. I think he's a pretty solid value play. We have George Hill also questionable if he can't go. I think that solidifies Connaughton for at least 20 minutes, probably 20 to 25. So he's a guy I'm definitely considering at min price. I think he goes a little bit overlooked. I think again the Flocks, if Ersan starts, they're just gonna go Ersan, Bledsoe, Middleton. But there are some more viable Milwaukee guys here. Shooting guard Harden and Westbrook. I mean, they're okay spend up options, but I love the mid tier, so I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go spend up for them in the slate. But I understand if you want to get to one of them, right? They do have pretty high floors. Besides that last game for Harden, where he only had 30 against the Clippers. So yeah, I'm fine with getting to either of those guys, but just not going to be with it. I go Booker. I like a good amount at 8.4. He's going to have to do a lot offensively with no DeAndre Ayton, no Kelly Oubre. I really like Booker as a spend up. You can definitely run a nice little game stack here. Run like 2 or 3 of those Milwaukee guys. Run it back like Baines or Booker. I think it's a pretty solid way to go about it. Jimmy Butler at 8.1. My concern here is Miami is a pretty balanced team right now, but this is a spot where you could have an upside game right against Washington. So him and Bam, I do have some interest there. Both priced about 8K. Still no Jaylen Brown. I'm not super excited about the Boston guys here. Again, I really like DeMar DeRozan. Now Colin Sexton at 7.1. He is playing huge minutes. Cleveland is still pretty thin at the guard position, so I still think we get probably close to 40 minutes from him. It's a good matchup. I still think Sexton is viable, even at this elevated price point. Now, the concern is, right, they have Drummond coming back. Tristan Thompson's obviously back, so there's more some higher usage guys back in the offense, but I just think he's going to have to play huge minutes. Fred VanVleet status up in the air. If he plays and it's not going to be limited, I think he'll be a pretty solid mid-tier play. If he misses, we could look to Powell, but his price is getting up there. Markelle Fultz had to do a little bit more offensive. No Fournier, put up over 40 fantasy points the last game against Minnesota. I think he's an okay mid-tier option. Again, really good matchup there, and he's going to have to do more with no Fournier. Mikal Bridges at 5.4. I know him and Sarge had pretty solid games, but I just wanted to get to, my main priorities here in Phoenix are Devin Booker and Aaron Baines. If you want to get to Bridges, if you want to get to Sarge, they're fine, but probably not for me. Oladipo status up in the air. If he can't go, then there's going to be a lot of value for the Pacers, right? The Holiday Bros, TJ McConnell. Brandon Knight at 4.9. Probably gets around 30 minutes. It's a better spot here, so I do have some interest in Brandon Knight, who has flashed some upside recently. DiVincenzo's another Milwaukee guy we kind of consider. He probably gets a little bit more run with no Giannis. I think he's viable. Right, so Aaron Holiday, he started the point guard position last game, played 34 minutes. Wasn't great, but especially if Oladipo's out too, they're going to be really, really thin at the guard position. So the two Holidays, TJ McConnell, those would probably be the guys I would have the most interest in. You could even argue Edmund Sumner would probably get some more minutes as well. Now, Michael Carter-Williams, he got a little bit more run with no Evan Fournier, played 22 minutes. I think he's a viable punt option as a cheaper play with no Evan Fournier, but we'll talk with DJ Augustin, I guess, at the point guard position. That's the guy I wanted to bring up. Other than that, though, like Wes Matthews as another cheap option, sure, but I just prefer those other Milwaukee guys I've already talked about. Wes Matthews is too scoring dependent for my liking. Let's talk about point guard. Again, Harden, Westbrook, they're fine. Not going to move that I go on the slate because I love the mid-tier. Kind of the same with Luka. If you get to him, that's fine, but I love the mid-tier. Not going to get to those spend-up guys. Kyle Lowry at 8.6 is fine. Fred VanVleet misses, that's a little bit more usage for him, but I prefer the guy right under him, Devin Booker, for a little bit cheaper. Fox, again, Sacramento is just a pretty balanced team. He's okay, but not for me on this slate. Same with OKC, not super excited about them. Boston, I'll pass. That Boston OKC game's pretty much a fade for me. Rubio at 6.9, he's going to have to do more offensively. I think he's a fine option under 7K. But again, my priorities here are Devin Booker and Aaron Baines on the Phoenix side. Again, Brogdon still off for the Pacers. Oladipo status up in the air. We also have TJ Warren status up in the air. So could be some value there for Indiana. Let's see. Bledsoe, yeah, love him. Revenge game spot too. We'd probably get over 30 minutes from him. Middleton, love them. I think you play those two, and Ersan if he starts and move on. Bruce Brown at 5K came off the bench, played 25 or so minutes. 5K though, I don't think he's cheap enough for me to consider him. All right, so I already talked about Aaron Holiday. He probably starts at the point guard again with no Malcolm Brogdon. They could move like TJ McConnell or Justin Holiday into the starting lineup. Both these guys would become a lot more viable value options. Now, DJ Augustin's the guy I wanted to talk about, right? He played 27 minutes, played a lot alongside Markelle Fultz with no Evan Fournier. He's, when he gets minutes, he's a pretty productive guy. It's a good matchup here against Houston. So I do like DJ Augustin a good amount as a value play. George Hill, this is kind of big news. If he can't go, that's going to really solidify the minutes for Bledsoe. That's really going to solidify the minutes for some of those secondary plays like DiVincenzo, Connaughton, right? So that's just another body that would not be in the rotation. Now, if George Hill plays and it's not going to be limited, I would like him as a value play. So there's a lot of value here for Milwaukee we can consider. No, Dellavedova is at 3.2K, right? So he started at point guard, played 31 minutes. Now, he was, that was a little bit more of an outlier game for him, right? 36 fantasy points. But they're really, really thin at the guard position. Let me go to the guards and let me go to Cleveland really quick. Let's see, where are the Cavs? Right, so guards. Still no Kevin Porter Jr., still no Darius Garland. Last game they started Sexton and Dellavedova together. Sir Dominic Pointer didn't even get in the rotation, so don't have to consider him. Matt Mooney wasn't in the rotation either, right? So those are two guys that are not going to play. So their only guards they have available are Dellavedova and Sexton. Now that's why, right, like Nance or CD still probably gets a lot of run at the 3. They could run Nance at the 3 too, but I don't have a whole lot of interest in the bigs. It's the guards, right? So Sexton and Dellavedova. I think Dellavedova, if he starts at point guard again, we'd probably get 25, 30 minutes from him. He's almost been priced. I think you got to consider him as well. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you'd like this video and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell. That does really help me out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live stream for this one. If I will, it might be a quick one. It might be a little bit earlier than normal. So I'll let you guys know. Follow me on Twitter. It's in the description below. I'll let you guys know if I'll be able to get a quick live stream in. But yeah, thanks again for everyone to come and check the video. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys all later.